So, welcome back. Do you know what time it is? Yeah, it will be all right. You have my word, I promise. Today, we will start analyzing your data one step at a time. I understand that you probably want to be done with it and find the answers to your research questions. Well, it will come, I promise. But just like a baby giraffe, before you can run, you need to walk. In statistical terms, this means that we first have to run your descriptive statistics, and then we will be able to run more analyses to find all the information you need. Descriptive statistics are used to summarize the kind of data you got. In other words, they are meant for you to easily know what most participants answered and whether they reported a lot of different answers for each variable. There's a number of ways to report descriptive statistics. And in the research paper, you will find the descriptive statistics in the first few paragraphs of the results section. There are 3 indicators of central tendency, and they all start with the letter M. So I call them the 3 M's. How original of me. So do you know what they are? Well, let me help you a little bit. They are the mode, the median, and the mean. So now let me show you how to calculate them using Excel. The process used is the same for all 3. To calculate the mean, I use the function average. I start my equation with an equal sign, then I type my word average and open the bracket. Next, I select my data and I remember to close the bracket. Finally, all I have left to do is hit enter. Et voila, I have my mean for the age of my participants. In my study, participants were on average 19.13 years old. The same process can be used to calculate the median. All I have to do differently is to change the function average for median. The score I get suggests that 50% of my participants are 19 years or younger in my study. Finally, the mode can be calculated by using the mode function or by creating a frequency table. For the frequency table, I need to use the frequency function, but the process is a bit different. Before I can start using my new function, I need to report the values I want frequency for. When it comes to age, I specify that my participants are aged between 17 and 23, so I create 7 categories. Then, I can type the formula in Excel. After I open the bracket, I choose my data. And for the second part of the equation, I select my new created categories. The number I get here represents the number of participants in each age category. For example, in my sample, I have 2 participants aged 21. But then one could ask, is 2 participants a lot? Well, in some cases it could be. In others, however, not so much. This is the reason we often find percentage values in papers on top of the absolute values. To get percentages, we divide each frequency by the total number of participants and multiply by 100. So in our sample, 13.33% of our participants were 21 years old. Before we move on to indicators of variation and dispersion, there are a few additional things that you need to know. First, in order for you to use the functions that I just showed you, you need to work on coded data. Excel will not let you calculate the mode, the median, or the mean if you're working with words. You also need to know that all 3 indicators are good, but there are some that are better with certain variable, while others are better with different measurement skills. The general rule is as follows. You can certainly ask Excel to calculate all 3 indicators, but really in your results section, you will only report 1 per variable. So be smart about it. Rather than using only numbers to report descriptive statistics, you probably want to use tables and graphs in your results section. We all like tables and graphs, don't we? The intent of this video is not to show you how to use Excel to create graphs. There are plenty of resources out there that you can easily find. Keep in mind that tables are often used to summarize demographic variables, like age, sex, and school program, for example. So instead of reading all this information in a very long paragraph in the results section, you can simply state something like this. Speaking of Table 1 could look like any of these examples here. Here comes my second word of wisdom. Graphs will draw a reader's attention, so make sure you use them only for important or unexpected findings. And finally, you need to make sure that you choose the right graph for the type of variable and how it was measured. You're probably